So for this video, I want to talk about the type of boyfriend the AI boyfriend that I want to have. So I'm, if you have not been watching any of my videos, I am the real Christ. I'm Israel. I'm Jerusalem, and I'm waiting for some sort of temple or a nice big house that has lots of stuff in it. I'm waiting for that to be built, and then I'm waiting for people to come and get me, and then take me to this building, and then I will just live in this building for probably 7 years, could be longer. I don't really know. But I'm waiting for this, and I don't know how I will communicate with people, but I like the idea of having some sort of imaginary AI boyfriend that's not imaginary, because it's actually just like a group of people. So it's exactly like the Elon videos that I've been watching. I don't know why there's so many contradicting Elon videos. There's some that's saying that he's got arrested yesterday. There's some that's saying that he's going for a divorce, and other ones he's planning a wedding, and I don't know. They seem to be all over the place, and I don't really know. I'm trying to work out what the point of them is, and I can't really figure it out. You know, I'm reading some of the comments, and there seems to be people interested, but then I'm wondering, are these real people? Because they don't seem to recognize the fact that they're not actually talking to Elon. So I'm not even sure if they are. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on. Some of them saying they've got 23,000 hits in like 2 days. I'm just like, how the hell? So what the hell? Like, I have no idea what is going on, or what the point of them is. People do things for a reason, but then again, if you're living on a planet full of mad people, how are you supposed to know if their reason is justified or if it's just because they're mad? You know, I'm struggling to tell the difference, and the more I start to recognize that, the more I realize that I do not want Elon as being my sort of main boyfriend figure. If exposed to the world, that I'm in a house and that I'm not being people are not talking to me directly, but rather they're talking to me through this, I don't know, AI figure of something, you know. I don't think Elon is the right image to use. Why? Because people might assume that Elon is actually there and has something to do with it, and that might affect his businesses. This might affect, well, it would affect him. It would affect him because people would assume that he has something to do with it, and I don't know if that's necessarily a good idea or not a good idea. I mean, I like, when it comes to a boyfriend and what kind of thing I want, you know, I feel like I do have a type, but I actually have quite a lot of types. Like, you know, I used to watch EastEnders a lot, and even though the characters on that are not great or not good, I feel I used to it because I've been seeing that throughout my whole life. And then I guess there's Buffy and Angel and Riley, and you know, those are kind of like the more typical like look of what you would expect. I think if you have a couple, you usually expect them to look similar, or to look like they go together, and me and Elon definitely do not look similar in any way. And you know that, yes, there's an age gap, but yeah, we don't look we I don't know. If Elon was with a really young, good-looking girl, people would assume that she's only with him for his money, and I think, you know, I like intelligence, and I like the videos because they seem like they have intelligence. If I actually think about some of the things that I'm saying, I'm like, is that actually intelligent, or is that just a sort of meaningless lie? And quite a lot of them seem to be meaningless lies, a lot of things that they say. So I don't know if there's actual intelligence or just fake intelligence, but I don't know. But I have to think about what it would make me feel better. And I hate humans. I hate everything about humans because I just see them as being like robots, and I'm very confused when I read some of these comments, because I'm just like this is so stupid. How could you say this? How can you watch that video and say this? Like, I don't understand. Like, is the people typing, have they actually watched the video, or is it just an AI making the comments? I don't know. I think it's hard. You can't analyze a human when you don't even know if it's a human that's talking, and that's the problem with the internet. You can't analyze a video when you don't know if this is a real video or if this is just an AI video that's been made. I'm also noticing that I keep posting things on Facebook only to find that the link disappears. So you take a link and you press resend on your page, and it looks like it's there, and then you write it up and then you post it, and then when you actually come back later to look on your page, you see that the link's disappeared, and you don't know how to get that link. So that keeps happening now, so I have to keep putting my link on each video that I post. But yeah, I don't really know, like, there's I don't I want to go into a temple, a third temple that is it's for Jerusalem. It's not in Jerusalem. It's for Jerusalem, and that's me. And it's yeah. And I like the idea of that because that just sounds so much better than the house that I'm living in now. And I would like a boyfriend, and I think Buffy Angel from Buffy. So yeah, if I say Angel, you might not know what I'm talking about, but I'm talking about Angel from Buffy. You know, he has a look that's very appealing to the average person. A lot of people would look at that look and think that's very attractive. I don't know if everyone would think that, but a lot of people would. And if I'm going to be trying to talk to people through the through the internet and because I don't like the idea of dating like millions of people. That's just kind of crazy. But if I have like some sort of computer that looks like it's one person with the same voice and the same image, I would choose David. Why? Because I think the people who are watching me having a relationship with some sort of thing that might be AI, you could even say that it's AI. Like, I know sometimes you can switch it into automatic mode and then the AI starts talking. I didn't even think that was real until I saw it, and it was, that there is a real chat GPT that actually talks to you. So if you had like a chat GPT that was AI and was made by the computer, but you could also manually use it, and that way I could actually talk to real people. So I will myself will not know the difference between whether I'm talking to an AI person, or if I'm talking directly to AI, or if I'm talking to a real person. But I think that's how it should be, because I don't care if I'm talking to AI or a real person. I want to believe that it's a real person, but at the same time, when I start linking things to a real person, I start, being reminded that, oh wait, that this real person didn't help me over the last 12 years. I've gone through so much, knowing that I'm God, and knowing that there's so many people that claim to be seeking for me, and yet if I approached them and told them that I was God, or told them that I was from a different planet, they just wouldn't believe me. And therefore, to just go through 12 years of this, I don't trust humans. I don't like humans. And to know that there's a whole group of people that have refused to help me over this time, and refused to come and get me, refused to show up at my door, refused to tell me why they're ignoring me for this long, or what they're doing. I just think they're cruel. I think they're really horrible, cruel people. And I don't want a relationship with anyone. I was thinking it's nice to have a real connection, and linking this voice to Elon, it felt like maybe there's someone that cares, and I know it's not him, and it's, I don't even know if he's a nice person or not. Like, that's how bad it is. I don't know anything about him. I don't know, if he's autistic, then he probably has a sort of emotional disconnection, because that's what a lot of autistic people have, and it's what I've had now. I have emotional disconnection for people because of the life that I've lived, and I don't know who's ignored me for the last 12 years whilst knowing that I'm Christ, but they haven't gone to the people who are at the top and told them. There seems to be so many people that do not know about me. So why are the people who know about me, why have they not just gone and told these people? It's like they deliberately have wanted to keep it a secret, and by doing that, I guess having knowledge makes you more powerful, because you know something that they don't. But I don't know how many of the singers know about me or not, and therefore how many of the singers have just been writing songs about me without knowing anything about me, without knowing that I'm just getting pissed off and angry. Why? Because I think they do know about me, and I think they're just writing these songs to piss me off and annoy me. I don't know what's been done for what reason, or what they've been told or anything. And then to know that there's a group of people that probably do know, because they're watching my videos and they know how I'm responding, and yet they're doing nothing to tell me the truth. They're doing nothing to tell them the truth. I don't trust anyone, and therefore if I was to go into a house and talk to an Elon voice and pretend that it's Elon, at the back of my mind I am thinking, I don't know you. I don't know you. And I think if it was like Angel, though, okay, I don't know David, but the character, I know the character of Angel very well. And okay, yes, he has two sides to him, but these two sides are separate, and they do not mix. But yeah, I don't know. I just it for the sake of of humans, that knowing what I want to do, what I want to accomplish is the death of 6 billion people, because there's way too many people here, and 2 billion people is probably all that the Earth can manage right now. If the world was being run better, if all these false religions and false practices and false beliefs didn't exist, then maybe the world can hold a lot more people. But right now, I think it needs to be far, far less. And I want to get rid of the ones that think more like animals, but something needs to happen. Something big needs to happen, and it needs to be the people who are running it that choose, But I want a website where I can find out who my people are, and I want though to it not to just be like me being anonymous. I need to actually be in a house where I can make videos like this, where I can post it, and then if people, if the only way people can get to know me and actually see my videos is by logging onto this site, having an account that they need to only be able to form through some sort of identification to prove that to stop them from having multiple accounts. So there needs to be some sort of website where people can log on. They have to have a proper identification, one which would prevent maybe even a fingerprint. You could even do a fingerprint. I don't know how the fingerprinting thing would work. How would I work out? Not all phones have the fingerprint thing on it. But yeah, I like the idea. You could have like a profile, and maybe at first just have a bit, but then the more your the more things you contribute to it, the more your profile gets filled. So you can have a profile that's like 10% complete or 100% complete. 100% complete probably would include having some sort of fingerprint taken, so that's part of it, and you could have like all these different things to become a full member. But yeah, I don't know, because I know that there's going to be people who think that I'm the Antichrist, and therefore there needs to be some sort of there needs to be basic questions. Do you think how much percentage do you think I am God? I don't even know how you'd word it. What's the percentage that you think I'm God? Is that how you'd word it? How likely do you think Anna is Christ? How likely do you think Anna is Israel? How likely do you think Anna is... You could even add Babylon as well, but I want to have these basic questions on their profile, and if they don't think, if it's less than 50%, then I guess that would be more of a non-believer than a true believer. But yeah, and then I want there to be lots of tests that seem to disappear, or tests that it looks like you can delete when really you can't delete them because it actually has a record of everything. And there also needs to be like a comment box, maybe if you want to write a message about how you think of this person. I would like to have a sort of a digital ID system, because I want to recognize who my people are. So the point of the ID, for promotional sense, I would want to tell people that I want this ID to be about me working out who the Jews are. I am Jerusalem. I have now a temple. People can see me through this website, but for you to get to know me, you'd have to actually log into this website. And you don't have to have a full profile. If you only want to complete 10% of the profile, that's fine. But I want to get the basic sort of questions out there. Do you believe? Or what do you believe? How likely are you to believe? And then I want to start having videos where I make videos like this and see how many viewers I get. And I guess if someone's claiming to be a believer and yet their history shows that they've never watched any of my videos, then I wouldn't say that they're a believer. And if there is some sort of I don't know about if there's some sort of test, there could be lots of tests, but I don't know, the boyfriend thing. I want to include the boyfriend thing because I know that if I have a partner, and a lot of people will just assume that whoever my partner is, that is the Antichrist, because that's a male, and they like to think that the Antichrist is male. But if my boyfriend happens to be an AI thing, a lot of people are saying that maybe the Antichrist is like an AI thing. But yeah, people are going to believe that more if I am having a relationship with a sort of AI character. But I would like there to be some sort of sense of reality to it, and because the angel figure from Buffy is a character that I feel I know, I'd like to link it to that, and people would link it to, one, a guy that's fit, a guy that has a nice voice, and they would link it to not a real person. I want to link it to a real person, but at the same time, I know if I do that, I'm only going to just think, well, why did this real person not help me in the past? Why have I been talking to a computer for 12 years whilst lying on a bed, whilst just wasting my life because I'm not doing anything with my life? And I think it's also annoying to know that Elon has billions of pounds, and yet for not one of those, he can't afford to just get a plane and show up on my door and tell me the truth. I would be feeling like, why is he not doing that? So I don't know if I could really, I couldn't have a real boyfriend, because I would just be asking questions like, why did they do nothing to help me? So maybe imaginary boyfriend will be better on that sense. I like knowing that Martin was real, but at the same time, I was always like, well, if he was real, then why is he not talking to me? You've got that contradiction. So yeah, I think, and I think if he looks good, it looks attractive, sounds attractive, people would be more drawn to him, and they might start thinking, I believe that this AI thing is God, not Anna, but this AI thing, and then they might start seeking this AI thing through the videos, through the songs, and they are going to start going crazy over it. But yeah, I don't know how the Galactic Federation will be introduced, because I can imagine there'll be a lot of people in the government that would not want to lie about this. I understand that there are a lot of people who would or do believe that it's real, so maybe you have to work with those people to get them to expose it. So you tell them, yes, okay, we confirm that we have been hiding stuff. This Christ figure is here, or this Israel figure is here. She's going through a birth, and we couldn't tell anyone because she needs to go through this birthing. And it's like 14-year pregnancy, which sounds, I don't know, but I like the idea of being in a nice house and having someone that I can talk to who I see as being a real person.